Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. I'm Chad, and in today's video we're talking about some things I've been doing wrong and some improvements I made this summer. Now let's start talking about string trimmers here. Probably like many of you, if you live in a rural area, one of your first ever jobs or your chores was to use the weed whacker or the string trimmer. And maybe you made a few extra bucks doing that. Like you guys, I started out pretty young, probably early teenager, maybe even before that, running a weed whacker. But just this year, at 48 years old, I've discovered I've been doing it wrong. So we're going to talk about that in this video. But first, I want to show you two other things that have completely changed the way summer works for us here at Purple Collar Life. As I walk towards the porch here, you can see we have a big wraparound covered porch. And since that porch has been built, we've had the same issue. As you look up here at the ceiling, you'll notice that we have some recessed lights. And every year, we would have wasps that would be making nests up in behind those lights or along these edges. And actually, a couple times, Jennifer and I have been stung out here on the porch by those wasps. But this year, we found the solution. Now, I'm not sure where Jennifer heard about or read about these things, but you can see behind me, there is a paper bee's nest. Let's take a closer look. So up here on the porch, you can see one right here. We've got another one down there. These are paper fake hornet's nests. You can see there's nothing inside it. It's just a metal framework and some type of waxy paper on the outside. But Jennifer had read or heard somewhere that if you put these fake hornet's nests up, the wasps won't come around because wasps are afraid of hornets. Hornets are predators to wasps. So if you put a hornet's nest up, the wasps will not make nests in that area. In fact, they won't even fly through that area. We've found that to be 100% true this summer. I'll put an Amazon affiliate link to these nests because we will never have another summer where we don't put these on the porch. They have kept the wasps from flying through here. It used to be like a wasp runway. They'd fly right through here. They'd stop at every single spot that they could start making a nest, whether they're mud wasps or nest wasps. They would try to make nests here on the porch. This has been an amazing solution. So again, Amazon affiliate link down below in the description if you'd like to try to keep the wasps away from your front porch or anywhere that you seem to get wasps. I know also back in the shed, I get some wasp nests up in the rafters. Next summer, I'm going to put another one of these back in the shed. Preventing the wasps from ever getting here in the first place is a lot better than having to spray the nests once they're up here, because this spray, while it does work really good, it kind of leaves some staining, especially if you've got stained wood like we do, or on vinyl siding, or even our vinyl ceiling. This stuff can make some stains, and then you got to wipe it all off. Plus, it's kind of toxic for your pets, so also not a great idea to spray around, a living space like our porches. Before I show you the second amazing thing I've learned this summer, I've also seen something new on YouTube. There's now a hype option. If you're watching this video on your phone, down below, go ahead and click that like button. We really appreciate that. Everybody can do that. But then also to the right of that, there's like a little star symbol. And if you hover over it, it tells you it is hype. And what that lets you do on YouTube is hype a video so that YouTube knows you liked it and you recommend they show it to more people. So if you would do me a huge favor, I want to see how much of an impact this really has. Each of you can use the hype button 3 times per week if I understand how this works on YouTube. So we'd love it if you'd pick 3 Purple Collar Life videos and click that hype button. If you could start out with this one, I'll be able to see in the future how much of an effect the hype button helps creators like me out. Okay, the second thing I've learned this summer, second major improvement for 2025 summer, we have artificial plank decking on this side of the porch. This was put up many years ago. It's actually a product called Eon Decking. I don't even know if they still make it. It does make like a plasticky noise sometimes when you walk on it, especially in the wintertime. But the nice thing is it never needs stained. It's maintained its color pretty good. A little bit of fading, but not horrible. I'm not here to talk about that though. But what the bad side of this plastic decking is, and you can see I've got the Weber grill behind me, is that it has a So any grease spills or splatters, they stain. And even if you scrub with Dawn dish soap or Simple Green or any of those products to try to clean these plastic decking boards, those grease stains do not come off. Earlier this summer, we bought a Blackstone for here on the porch in addition to the Weber grill, because we love using the Blackstone when we're camping, but I hate taking stuff out of the camper to the house and then back and forth. So the Blackstone that's in the camper stays in the camper, only gets out when we're going camping. We wanted to give one a try here on the porch, but the first thing I thought of is the Blackstone makes a lot of grease splatter, and I didn't want it to make as much of a mess on the plastic decking as what the Weber does. So I found this. I'll put an Amazon link to this down below. Also, this is a mat for on your porch or cement patio that sits below a grill or griddle. And you can see, thank goodness, because the Blackstone does drip grease when you're cooking sometimes, and that would actually all be on the plastic wood here if it weren't caught on this mat. The other really nice thing about this mat is it is fire resistant. I don't know if I would say fireproof, but it claims on Amazon to be fire resistant. So that's another nice benefit of it. If something would kind of fall off or be on fire below your grill or below a Blackstone or whatever you're cooking with, this might be a little bit more protection for whatever it hits. Again, Amazon affiliate link down below for the under grill mat to help protect your cement patio or wood deck, whatever you're cooking. Okay, let's get to the part that most of you came here to see. You can see we're going to be focusing on the trimmer string head end of our trimmers. We've got two really nice Stihl trimmers here. I like them both. I mentioned in a previous video that I had used box store brand trimmers and they were always giving me problems, either with the string head or with not starting right or being hard to start or a pain to use. Stihl brand, again, not sponsored by Stihl. We'd love to be, but we're not. Stihl brand trimmers have been amazing for us. We do have a small lawn care business. As part of that lawn care business, we take care of a cemetery. So you know, if you've ever mowed a cemetery, going around all those stones, you go through a ton of trimmer string. So like most landscapers, we have spools and spools of trimmer string. Now I've seen those products, and you've probably seen them online too, where you don't have to use string anymore. It's some type of a different type of swinging blades, plastic blades that you can replace, and you just snap them in and out. It's supposed to be really easy. I've tried a couple of those things. I think they're super gimmicky. Maybe they work for some people, but if you're doing a lot of string trimming, especially around headstones at a cemetery, you don't want to use anything that could damage those stones, but you will also find that you go through a ton of trimmer string. So this year, I learned actually two things about what I've been doing wrong with my string trimmer. You can see I've got the AutoCut head on both trimmers. I switched out from the original trimmer head to these AutoCut C26-2 heads. I actually have a video of how to replace the string trimmer head on your trimmer. Super easy process. I'll put a link to that video up above. So the first thing I learned about trimmer string, when you go through as much of it as we do, you have stockpiles of it. So you can see I've got one there. That's actually the one that I keep in the CarMate trailer along with our landscaping stuff. We've got one here that I keep in the garage. We've got one actually in the building, because when you run out of string on your trimmer, you don't want to be going all over the place finding the string. So I have the string all over the place. So it's very easy for me to get to wherever I am. But one thing I never knew about trimmer string, and you know, you keep it for quite a while, especially if you buy a bigger spool. These are very small spools. You go through these typically within a summertime. But if you look really closely on the packaging, on both of these packages, you see this little symbol of a bucket of water. Now, I actually work in the plastics industry, and I know a lot about hygroscopic materials. Those are materials that have to be dried when you process them, whether you're injection molding or extruding plastics. Any moisture inside those plastic pellets or plastic resin will cause an issue when you're processing it. So I know all about removing moisture from plastics. What I never thought about when it comes to string trimmer string is that you've dried it to process it, but as you know, dried plastic can be brittle. So sometimes if you're having trouble loading this into your string trimmer, so with the AutoCut head, I put a long strand through and then I twist to load the string into it. So you're twisting against that string, getting it to wind inside the head of the string trimmer here.
There, I thought you somehow put that whole spool in there. You
Used to have to wind it around the spool and then insert the spool on the old type of trimmers.
Oh, okay.
But these new trimmer heads like this AutoCut, I'll put an Amazon link down below. And sometimes that string is not very flexible. It's really hard to get it to bend around those turns. Well, turns out that you actually want to add a little bit of water to this if it has been sitting for a while. So if this is string trimmer string that's been sitting around all summer and it's all dried out, it's kind of brittle, harder to feed through your string trimmer, it's a good idea to actually soak this in a bucket, let it absorb some water, and it'll become much more flexible, much easier to load, and it won't break quite as easily when it hits something. So when you're trimming at a cemetery, going around those headstones, you catch a lot of corners of the stone. And you go through a lot of string. One way to make the string last a little bit longer is make sure it's more flexible and pliable by soaking it in water first. The other thing I learned about string trimmer string, I've always been using this kind of string. It's usually orange. It's exactly this product from Stihl. This one that goes in our string trimmer is a 0.095 inch or 2.4 millimeter string. And that's what loads into the AutoCut head. Now this string has worked fine. You go through quite a bit of it. But then when I went to the Stihl dealership this summer to get more string because I was going through it, the guy behind the counter, a friend of mine, says, hey, why don't you try something different? It's going to cost you a little bit more, but I think you're really going to like it. So this is the new type of string trimmer string, weed whacker string, that I really like. You can see same size, 2.4 millimeters, 0.095 inches, and this kind still says go ahead and soak it in a bucket if you need it to be more flexible and pliable, or if it's been sitting around and kind of gets that, you know, fragile feel to it. But you can see this is different. They call this, at that Stihl dealership, they call it the calico string. So the standard string is all orange, one type of plastic. The calico string actually has a little bit different shape to it. It's not round, it's got some better biting, cutting edges, and it's 3 different colors and types of material. Now this is probably proprietary from Stihl, so I don't know what those material types are, but you can see it's very interesting. There is a black strip in between, a gray strip, and an orange strip. And there is a texture to it. And this actually cuts, we've found, much better than the standard round orange string. Now, like I said, this does cost a little bit more for this type of calico string, but it works amazing. We're finding, especially at the cemetery, going around those headstones, we're going through much less string. The second thing we're finding, this cuts way better. So it doesn't take as long to cut through some of that thick, brushy briar stuff along the edge of the ditch. This stuff cuts through it a lot better than the round string. So amazing that all these years I've always used the same kind of string, thought this is basically all there is, other than those gimmicky blades and different ways to change out the head on your string trimmer. Not the case. There has actually been a development in string, and this is it. I highly recommend it. Again, we're not sponsored. If I can find a link on Amazon to this string, I'll put it down in the description. But this stuff is amazing. I'm going to use up obviously what I have left of the regular orange round trimmer string, but from here on out, summer of 26 and beyond, it's all the calico string. Now, if I hadn't gone to the Stihl dealership to buy another spool of string and they hadn't recommended this, I wouldn't know anything about it. How you learn about some of the new technologies and things that make life a little bit easier or things that might work a little bit better for you is from other people's word of mouth typically. So hopefully these 3 things that I learned this summer might help you guys in the future: the trimmer string, the fake bees nests, and the under mat for underneath your grill. Hopefully those are things that might help you guys out. Links to all those down below in the description. We'd appreciate if you'd use those links if you're going to buy them from Amazon. If you can find them locally, always buy local. Second thing I'd like you to do, if you could do me a huge favor, it took me 48 years to learn about these things. You guys can help other people by leaving tips down below in the comment here. What are some other things that you guys have learned recently that might make other people's lives better when it comes to things they're using on a daily basis? Thanks for watching. If you found this video informative and entertaining, please give us a big thumbs up. Leave those comments down below. Click the like button and give that hype button a try. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks as always for your support. Hopefully we'll see you again the next time.